Hi, here's my hair care routine for healthy, shiny, and soft hair because that's my ultimate goal with my hair, and it has always been that. So, firstly, yes, diet and lifestyle choices also play a huge role in your hair and how it looks and how it grows. But today I'm just going to be focusing on healthy hair habits that don't require you to adjust your diet or your lifestyle habits. It's only right to start with my wash day process, but my wash day process actually begins the day before washing my hair because I pre-detangle my hair the day prior to washing my hair, and the reason I do this the day prior is because it saves me a lot of time on my actual wash days, so I don't have to detangle my hair when I'm washing it, and so it's not a drawn out process. So my hair typically takes around 1 to 2 hours to detangle on a given day. It really depends on how tangled my hair was that week and if I wore it out, and just multiple other factors, but for the most part 1 to 2 hours. So what I do the day before is, if my hair is still in braids, I keep it in braids the whole week most of the times, and I detangle my hair in sections always. And what I do is I go braid by braid and I spritz it with water or rosemary water or rooibos tea, but mostly water, and then I take some hair food or conditioner, any hair food that you can find. I don't recommend any specific brand, but at the moment I'm using this Easy Waves coconut hair food, but you can also use coconut oil if you have that, and any other hair food. And this is my rooibos tea, or I just use some water and hair food to detangle my hair. Now for the wash day process, I wash my hair typically once a week, every single week, because that's just what works for me. I use a shampoo. This one is sulfate free and it's very gentle, but I also use regular shampoo that contains sulfate, but this one is nice because I can use a lot and it doesn't strip my hair. And then I always follow up my shampooing process with amla oil, and I've been using this for over a year, and I started using this for darker hair because I had some gray hairs. I don't know why. I haven't gotten more gray hairs, so I don't really know if it's working, but I haven't gotten more gray hairs. So that's the main reason why I started using this. But I will say this makes my hair incredibly soft, so that's why I'm continuing using it every single week. And I use this maybe 3 times a month, sometimes 4 times, just depends. But I use this, and I swear by this for soft hair as well and for keeping my ends nice and healthy. And I use it as a hot oil treatment, and I keep it on for 45 minutes to an hour, and then I rinse it off. After I've used my amla oil, while it's still on, I use this hair mask. It's just a keratin hair mask. I'm not really one for scents when it comes to products, but it smells good enough for me. And if I'm not using a mask, I'm using this conditioner, and it also makes my hair incredibly soft. So yeah, I use a hair mask majority of the time, but the amla oil already makes my hair so soft, but I love doing both, so I just put this on as well, and then I just rinse everything off. One of the most important parts of my hair care routine is my hair moisturizing routine, and I try to do this well every single week. So when it comes to my scalp care, I am very basic about it, and I use rooibos tea or rosemary tea just on my scalp while my hair is still clean, and it really helps keep my scalp just not dry. I found that I don't have dandruff since I've been using this. And then I've been using this for, I think, maybe 5 years, and it's the best oily moisturizer. That's the best way I can describe this, and it works so well for me because I don't mind my hair being oily because it's up most of the time, but it's very good for moisturizing your hair and keeping it moisturized. Almost the last step in my routine is applying castor oil to my hair and to my ends once I have braided it. So I do this weekly, and I find that this really locks in the moisture I want to preserve in my hair throughout the week until my next wash day. So I use this every single week and I don't skip it. And I think the castor oil really aids in my hair not having as many single strand knots. So I really do recommend castor oil for everything from my skin to my hair. I use this mousse, but only for when I'm done twisting or braiding my hair. I take maybe 2 to 3 pumps of this and I just put it on here, and I might add some perm rods and do these 2 pieces and apply some to those. But I don't like having mousse on my whole head of hair because I don't like the smell of the alcohol in this because it's a little bit too strong for me. And then I just use these 2 small perm rods for the front of my hair. In between habits is actually what will aid in you having healthier hair, and that's exactly my mindset and my philosophy when it comes to almost everything. And that's just the small daily habits that you can implement to make you get your results faster and with less effort. So here are a few things that I do for my hair on a daily or weekly basis in between my wash days. So firstly, usually once a week in between my hair wash days, I re-moisturize my ends, and just the very ends, maybe like this much of my ends I moisturize, and I do that by using a spritz of rooibos tea, rosemary water, or sometimes just plain water, and then I will use my hair food and just apply that. And I feel like this prevents it from tangling and becoming dry and frizzy. Once a month I do a rice water treatment with fermented rice water that I make myself, and that is my protein treatment, and it has been working well for me and keeping my hair nice and healthy, I would say. And then another thing that I also try to stay away from is tight hairstyles. I also don't do added hair to my hair anymore, and I also don't do my edges every single day. So I think that also contributes to me having edges, and I have a lot of baby hair still. And I have found that wearing braids retains more moisture in my hair than wearing twists. So I've been opting for braids instead of twists, and it has made a huge difference in my hair tangling and drying out. My hair is much more soft and manageable with braids, so I tend to stick with that. And I also wear a bonnet or a headscarf, or most of the time both, and I blow dry my hair 2 to 3 times a year if I'm feeling fancy, but no more than that. And I just allow my hair to air dry the rest of the time, and I use a blow dryer brush. I will try to get a picture of what it looks like, and I straighten my hair maybe once a year. It just allows me to get a better trim, and I've been using these shears, and I use them to 3 times give my hair a proper trim or cut, but most of the time I do search and destroy. So dusting my ends weekly or monthly keeps them in shape for the remainder of the year. I don't use a brush or a comb, so Those are my in-betweens and some fundamentals that I think keeps my hair in such good shape. And I'd also don't dye my hair. So really just get yourself a proper structure and routine to maintain your hair or grow out your hair, whatever you want to do. And I wish you well and bye.